Did you know that human trafficking cases are caused from online dating? Similarly, there are numerous cases of child abduction which is caused from the use of online gaming to form friendships with children. This then leads to the offering of gifts to gain control, with the exchange of photographs and personal information. Human traffickers will strategically play on emotions for months on into years as they groom their victims to become trusting before exploiting them. The Counter-Trafficking Data Collaborative states, did you know that human trafficking cases are caused from online dating? Similarly, there are numerous cases of child form friendships with children. This then leads
not heard from you in some time. I'm sure you're feeling much better today. Please remember that you're no longer a child. You have to man up and take control over your own life, eh? If you're still feeling disturbed, it's time you take it to the Lord in prayer. You're better than this, Baba. Don't get left behind. Call me when you get this. I love you. Bye for now. To man up and take control over your own life. Don't get left behind. You're better than this.
Every time I close my eyes, I visualize another life. One where anxiety and depression don't eat me up inside. Terrified of heights and dog bites, but I'll walk out into the dead of night because unfortunately being surrounded by darkness feels just right. People say hi and I smile and wave because the funny thing about my sadness is that it's very well behaved. My depression is kind enough to keep me high functioning. I'm sure it knows I hate outwardly struggling. So I paste on bright smiles and hand out high fives, and when anyone asks, my answer is always, I'm fine. Every time I close my eyes, I visualize another life. One where fear and insecurity don't eat me up inside. Is there something wrong with me? Or am I just lazy? Impatient with all the lessons preceding my blessings, confused about the universe's message. My cyclical questioning causing anxiety as a consequence. Never sharing my full truth because it's easier to pretend. Because every time I close my eyes, I visualize my anxiety's lies, causing fear and depression to eat me up inside. And as comfortable as the darkness feels, living in its depths won't help me heal. And the half-truths I allow to loop in my mind aren't real. I'm getting tired of faking it till I make it. I wish I could put my depression in a spaceship and watch it disappear into that dark abyss. Sometimes my days end way before they start because surviving the hours behind a mask becomes too hard. And the truth is my anxiety is ruthless, and being curled up on the floor crying makes me feel stupid even though I'm doing what I can to get through it. Because every time I close my eyes, I visualize another life, and the possibility of being anxiety free is why I continue to try.
My name is Delmaureen Morris Williams. I am a survivor of domestic abuse, childhood sexual abuse, human trafficking, sex trafficking, and prostitution. This young man came in and he was very polite, very, you know, shy and timid, and so we kind of developed a sort of a friendship before we became intimate. And I thought that I had finally found somebody who loved me, because he was the first person to actually say to me, "I love you." We continued in the relationship until about 2 years in the relationship, he became very abusive. He was so jealous. But I thought that the jealousy was a good thing because this man loves me. He would hit me and then he would say, "I love you, and that is the reason why I hit you, so that you can understand that I love you and not to do this again." And I would try my best not to do whatever it is that I had done for him not to hit me, but there was always something new. And of course, about an hour after that, he came, "I love you and I am sorry and it's not going to happen again." Of course, I believe, because this man loves me. One day, I wanted to go somewhere. I think I wanted to visit my mom. And he was saying, "No." And we ended up in a huge fight, and he held the cutlass, the machete, to my neck. And he was like, "If you go through the door, I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to kill your children." And I was saying to myself that I can take the licks, but when it comes to my children, you don't threaten my children. And I pushed him. I said, "You're going to have to kill me first before you get to my boy." And I took my boy. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew I had to leave. So this older man thought that he would not come and violate his house. And so he said, "Of course, you can go and stay in the shed." He would come to the house. Still come to the house. I could smell him because he smoked. There was a coconut tree near to the house, and he would scream and saying that I'm inside there with a man and what we're doing in there and just how he's going to kill all of us. He basically used his hand to pull off the window and proceeded to throw some stones. And I was trying to shield my boys, to protect them. And so he used his hand to pull away like the siding of the house to where a part of my bed was exposed. He had used a lighter to light the sheet that was on the bed. When I looked, I saw that my bed was on fire. I jumped on the bed to stamp on the sheet and to out it. I didn't realize that I had gotten burned because I was like in survival mode. He was standing outside looking through the part of the board that he had torn apart, and I was inside standing on the bed looking at him. And I knew that I had to get him calm because he was going to try something else. He was, looking at me and trembling, and I just called him and I said, "Come." I just put his head on my lap. And about half an hour after that, he just walked away. And while he was leaving, I reassured him that everything was going to be fine and he did not worry about anything because I didn't want him to come back. it is very important for victims to leave any abusive situation. It does not get better. It does not get better. It gets worse. There is a promise of it will never happen again, but it does. It continues. And even if they are genuine in apologizing or saying, I'm going to try my best for this not to happen again, take it from somebody who has been there, it will happen again.
When you think I'm lost, you think I'm lost in pain, you think I'm lost in love, you think I lost my head in the game. I'm running from trouble, my problems really double, my Lord has certainly got me covered, kept me from the traps of the devil. My sins become ridden, my prayers are being risen, my focus now becomes my vision, ensure the completion of the mission. When you think I'm lost, you think I'm lost in pain, you think I'm lost in love, you think I lost my head in the game.
Let me send out a few emails and make a few phone calls in a couple minutes.
Mom, school starting next week. I don't have any of my stuff. If you know say that gonna be this busy, why not just make Dad come with me like how we do every year?
If he wanted to go with you, he would have called.
So you're saying he doesn't want to be with me? Is he the bad guy now?
What? So what, I'm the bad guy now?
Mom, I never said that. But just don't like how you make it seem like you don't want to deal with me and then you will send him away.
Enough!
Whatever. I'm leaving.
Where are you going?
To the beach. Alright? We need to clear.
Have mom.
Sis, you still have a tree? You can buy some pharmacy for me?
Hey Maggie, hold on then. May I text Jessica?
Jessica, what you want to talk about so? Only can talk to each other so.
Supposed to meet up today. I know she come tell me she want to meet this dude.
Jessica, my dude?
Yes, some girl with she talks online.
I'm just to find out about this. Yeah, keep things from me. You turn bigger man now. That's a go on?
What's you, Maggie?
No man, you turn bigger man. So you and her go.
That may text her to find out.
Okay.
Fort Rocky.
Fort Rocky. No, the abandoned beach out there, so.
Abandoned Beach.
That's one right, you sure?
Let me
Text her
ask her
again.
again. He wants to meet there because the beach is less crowded today.
Oh, the other beach them full. Alright, you go there?
You know, so she always a bring me some creepy places.
That's true.
I'm gonna go with her.
And you're her friend from 7th grade, that's true. Alright, let me forget the pharmacy then. Remember for call me, no?
I'm gonna call him again.
I know how you stay. You love text and I love call. If you call me.
Maggie make a call you.
Alright, later.
Yeah, you get my message? Hey, she bring a friend. You want change your plans? Are you kidding me? Caliber.
Anyway, what's going on? What's taking so long? I better get going. So we're supposed to walk through the thing now? Maybe we should walk. No, man, come on. Come on. Fine. Probably not that far. I wanna go. Wanna go. Oh, yeah, there was I am from Fort Rocky. We're going whatever, come on, I guess. Go this way. Whoa. Yep. That is Fort Rocky. I don't know about it. You need to survive. Everything creepy to you. That's because they keep them in the creepy place. Come on, come. Make me one and make me see. You know what? Let's head back to the road because there's something we need to buy. Yep. Everything creepy to you. Listen, no. This way. The road is alright, we're good.
time. Good to go. Get in your backside. Shut up! Yeah, so remember now in that. Because it's in the lungs. The lungs them, I think about 75,000. And not to mention the kidney and the heart. So, you know what I mean? We want to make sure so we harvest all we can harvest. And this one is a really a healthy one and strong. Okay. Yes, man. I'm really pleased with this one this time. You understand? We can harvest all our organs inside and make money from it. Alright?
Harvest organs?
Shut up! I want to talk to that girl, man.
Jessica!
Hey, girl, you.
No problem. One in the chair room, the other two there so with me. And Doc is here ready for work. No problem, them safe, man. Them good. Alright then. Okay, we see you when you get it. Alright. She left on her way, so you can start.
Okay, can I start now?
Yeah, man, go ahead.
I love my job.
Get the igloo for me, please. Better shut up. Oh, put you on the table before your time. Yeah, nice.
Thank you so much.
Are you alright?
I have to get help from my friends.
Calm down. Are you alright? What's happening?
They kidnapped me. Please, I have to get help, please.
Okay, let's get help. Calm down. Everything will be alright. We're going to get help now, okay? Everything's going to be fine.
No. Don't go that way. Please, don't go that way. They don't there, please.
Shut up.
Stupid.
I can't believe Shaq let you go. This is how he treats my merchandise? Almost lost money. Shut up!
going?
Well, let's take it.
Careful with my merchandise.
Yes, boss.
How much, Doc?
500.
Really? If only you were worth that much, I'd meet you in person. How rude of me. Let me make acquaintance. Jason? 5 months talking? Not doing much talking now. You didn't damage my merchandise.
Let me take the top box.
Perfect.
No.
You're so pretty. She'll be perfect for the Johns. You're so pretty. I'll make a good penny off you. She's so petite. Not bad. She's petite though. All that running did you no good. Look at your You have to be more careful. Shh. This is going to be a scar. Lock them up.
Yes, boss. Right out.
Deal with it. It's starting to smell. I'm getting a call. Hello, how are you? Great doing business with you, sir. The merchandise is ready. Do you have the money? Ah, perfect. You can do the transfer, right? No. Never mind. Let's do it in cash then. I always like to keep business discreet. Works best for us here. So I'll meet you later and we'll do the exchange. Sounds perfect. All right then. Bye.
Come in. Come in. Go on, let's have it.
You think you're too pretty to me look in your face? Eh? Yeah, why make you want me look like idiot in front of your boss? I got what? Shut up in your thing, are you?
Look somewhere, look somewhere, look somewhere. What's your leg? Alright. Now come.
Okay, calm down. We're tracking you. I need to stay on the line.
See? When you are one after, you can't see what? Huh? Come on! Let's go. Let's go. Go, let's go. Hide that in a basket. Ready for transport.
Black woman, I know you struggled hard. I see your journey, and yes, it's true. There are struggles for you. There are times you've seen the pain. I see you going through the rain. Not just you, but your generation. There are things across the nation. Black woman, I can only sing about who I am right now. I know.
also becomes an unhealthy coping mechanism. So avoidance to some point might be healthy because if you're really in a situation and you can't face it right at that moment, stepping away sometimes does help to give you clarity. But if you're consistently avoiding it and not dealing with the situation, then it becomes unhealthy.
Thank you, ladies. That's beautiful explanations.
Yeah, I agree. We have another question. Well, we're kind of running out of time, so yeah.
Yes, everybody else can hear me.
Good night, everybody.
First, you spoke about children having a voice. My daughter have a lot of voices. You think it's more than one person is inside that body. How do you train them to express themselves respectively? Because I believe that everyone has a voice, whether you're a baby or an adult, you have a voice. And I think that when you find children becoming less comfortable telling parents about molestation because they don't have a voice within their home. It's like, mommy, what you come for? You do something, so you shut them up, so you push them up. So if somebody do them something, them create a talk. So I always tell my children and people around me that let them talk, them have a voice, and then sometimes they say, well, you make them be disrespectful. But if she's saying she did not do something, and you're saying, but me I tell her that she do it, I have to question her. You understand? And also listen to what you're saying because there's three sides to the story. My side, your side, and the truth. You understand? So how do you train them to express themselves respectively?
Oh, you have a lot of questions in that one question. So first, to start off, the parenting relationship with your child is important. As you said, you want to keep the lanes of communication open so that if something happens, they can come to you. What I like about what you said is that you don't take other people's words over your child. Because a lot of times when as parents, when somebody comes to us and they say something, you start to immediately lash out at the child because why would they lie about you? Why would they do this? But sometimes you have to investigate. Let the child know that, oh, I'm not immediately going to side against you. I want to hear what happened from your perspective. And that shows the child that, you know what, if something happens, mommy is in my corner. So I think that is healthy. But what happens now, as you said, when it becomes like a disrespectful situation, that you kind of have to train them. So apart from what I do, a lot of times I always, I'm advocating for children to speak or in working with them. A lot of times what I work with is how you can bring across that same message that you have in a more respectful manner. So, for example, there might be a family member you're not comfortable hugging. The response is, no, but I want to hug the junkie man. They always smell a woman in breast skin. No. Yes, no. So instead of saying that, you could go to mommy, mommy, I'm a bit uncomfortable hugging Uncle John. Could you tell him, I'm not, but you might say, all right, give Uncle John a high five. So what are you comfortable doing to greet him? You're comfortable saying hello. And another thing is that you don't want to force interactions on your children. If your child is telling you they're uncomfortable around someone, listen to your children. Don't force them. You don't want the awkward situation. You don't want the family to say all kind of things. But you have to think about your child. Your primary role is to protect them. And if they're saying something to you, you have to listen. Because sometimes you don't listen and we miss cues that they're giving us that this person is an unsafe person. Because children tend to be very much able to kind of decipher good and bad people. If you watch a child, a lot of times they are able to, kind of, you might see, as Jamaica just said, them spirit that takes somebody, and sometimes children are able to see the ill intentions that persons may have, but you as an adult can't really see what they're seeing, and they don't have the vocabulary necessarily to explain it. So they're saying to you, oh, I don't like Uncle John, but why don't you like Uncle John? They might not be able to verbalize that, but listen to them and say, all right, you know what, Uncle John hug you, no problem. Your question is one of which we get very often. How do I train my child to be respectful while expressing themselves? And one of the things I've always looked at is modeling. So I want my child to be respectful and to express himself in a particular way. But when I'm talking to Susan over there, so exactly. So, and these are the things that we're not aware of. Yeah? Because it's for you, it's normal. It's the norm, right? So I would say, okay, you train the child by modeling. So if you remember what you're teaching, just like when you're teaching them to ride a bicycle. And when they do say that way at one point without you having to tell them, you give them a reward, high five. You know, you make them feel good about what they do. Because, but first, we need to identify exactly, because you can't, a lot of times we hear, oh, them bad, them not listen. Those are not defined behaviors. It is either, okay, he's not following instructions. When I say to do this, he does that. That's a defined behavior, right? So you first have to define the behavior that you want your child to you want to see. So okay, you want your child to in a particular way. You define that behavior. Then you start to model. You start to train the child what to say, how to say it, when to say it, right? And I mean, practice different types of the communication that you want to see. When you see your child, you want, and sometimes you hear, but you don't see any change, but you're looking for a big change, for small change. Start small. Look for the little small change and start to. I mean, when people talk about reward, you hear parents, but why need to reward if I maybe I want to say, oh, because it's motivating. When we're growing up on our parents, say, check up 10 some over there, so I will check up 9. We are getting cussed for the one we're not check up. Nobody remember, so we check up 9. Yeah. And the one we are getting the link for, but we not check up. You understand? So these children are different. This don't work with them at all. Because what you're going to get is a complete shutdown. So you train them by model the behavior you want them to see. And when you see small changes, you reward. Reward don't mean everybody house on that. It can't be just a high five. Yeah? And praising, as you said, a lot of times as parents, because maybe we ourselves are like, I'm not a parent, but parents themselves did not receive praise from their parents growing up. They find it hard to give praise. And you sometimes you really don't know how much your child hearing that you are proud of them or you notice some improvement. You know, means to them. I remember I had a session with one child. He had been doing good for a certain point, and I think we were testing his distress tolerance. And so in that activity, he got mad because at this point I had him losing like 10 games in a row until he flipped and threw one of the things. And then he immediately got up, went for it, came back, and said, I'm so sorry. You know, I really wanted to win this game. And he was verbalizing how he was feeling. And I said, you know, you did so good up to this point. Let's look at your behavior chart. You were listening, you were following the rules, you were doing all these things so well. And he was like, I was. And I was just like, yeah. So what happened? When we're upset, and he's like, no, what were the things that we discussed we do when we're upset? And he's like, oh yeah, remember we can count to 10. And he's like, oh, and the balloon breathing and all these things that he had resources that he could have used, but in that moment, you know, he flipped. Yes, unfortunately, at the end of the session, I had to tell him he could not get his reward. And then he started crying down the place like, Murdo. And, you know, I had to say to him, oh, you're not going to get the prize today. But let us look back at the chart. Let us look at all how far you've come. And there's always next session for you to do well and even earn a bigger prize than that. So he stopped crying and he realized how well he had done. And then I think at that point, his mom said, you know, I really have been seeing behavior change. And I was like, did you tell him that? And then he said, yes, I said, this would be a good time to tell him all the things that you have changed and how, you know, those small changes. His first thing he said to me when I met him was that, am I a bad boy? Because children are internalizing these things. Because we don't say, you did something wrong. We said, you are bad. And we don't think, okay, they're internalizing that part of their core beliefs of themselves that I am bad. And I said, I don't think you're bad. you did something bad, but you are not bad. You're such a nice boy. When I came here, you know what you said? You said, good morning. And you had the biggest smile. And I was just like, what a sweet boy. So, you see his face and his mood and like his countenance change went from a bad boy to, yes.
Thank you. We have time for just one more question. Anybody want to ask anything? Kids, do you want to ask anything? No, you sure? Anyone? Okay. Not for the live stream, if you don't mind, please. But thank you.
Good evening. My question is related to the film with the man who lit the sheet. How can women lead safely? How can a woman lead safely? Because even in the recent situation with the lady from digital, it's about leaving. And repeatedly, we see where a woman finally gets up with the strength to lead, and the man gets upset enough to kill her, and sometimes kill himself. How can a woman lead safely is my question.
Okay, I think awareness is very important. At the beginning of that film, I heard her mention, 2 years into our relationship was when it started. But then, as I was discussing with my colleague, I was saying, 2 years? I wonder if it was there before she never see it. Yeah. Because a lot of times we get a lot of phone calls and we think it's nice. So I go back to reframing. Oh, this is nice. You're getting a lot of calls. But is it you being interesting and concerned, or is it you being possessive? So it's reframing. You just show up at where you work or without any notification. Is it you being nice and being attentive, or is it you being controlling? So reframing is important. So awareness is very important to be able to identify the signs of an abuser, right? And when you can realize the signs, when you become aware of the signs, and you can definitely say, oh, this is an abusive situation, right? The first thing to do is to not separate yourself, because that is one of the strong arm of an abuser. Isolation. Ensure you have enough support system so that people know. Because a lot of times when these things happen, people really don't know. You might have a few persons know, and they're very quiet about it. So ensure that people know these things. Because when your abuser knows that you have a support system, he completely loses out of his power. Yeah, right. Yeah. So ensure you have a good support system. So the first thing is to be aware of the signs and to define the situations that you're in. That is coming from right, and that is also have a lot to do for belief. Because if you have a standard and a value for yourself and you see yourself differently, there's no thought that can impact you or change your own core belief. Yeah. As I said, I'm not a fan of couples or situations related to couples because of the dynamics of it. There's so many things, so many levels to it. Honestly, like having somebody in a situation where they're experiencing intimate partner violence, what I've come to realize is a lot of times they idealize this person that is abusing them. And even if they say to you, boy, you do 10 million wrongs to me, they're going to tell you the one thing that the person did right. And I'm just saying to myself, would you, if you go to a supermarket to buy something, right? Because when we think about relationships, we all have certain things that we want from a relationship. You have your 10 grocery list items. You go into the supermarket and 9 of the 10 things you get are rotten. Are you going to sit down at home with those 10 rotten things? Are you going back to cuss the supermarket, going to cuss the shopkeeper? You're going to cuss whoever sells you those rotten things. But then why would you accept that from your partner? Why would one thing be enough for you to stay in a relationship that Exactly. So I find that as Camille said, it has to do with core beliefs. So when persons come to me, I don't do couples, but I will work with individuals in a situation and try to help them. One, look at what they would ideally want from a relationship. Is this relationship giving it to you? And if not, what is making you stay? A lot of times, as in the first one, she said he was the first person to tell her that he loves her. So do you believe, as Hamid said, we're addressing your core beliefs, that you're unworthy of love, that you would get better love somewhere else, and staying in this situation, you're not opening up yourself to receiving that other love. So you have to work with them on building themselves, realizing that they have the internal resources. In some situations, it might be financial, they might not have the internal or external resources in terms of support. So you have to build the person before they can actually get out of the situation. So they need their family support, as Camille said, because isolation is a big part of it. They need back some control over their lives, because as she said, control is not just preventing you from seeing your family, but it's also financial control. So they might ask you to stay home. They say, no, baby, you don't need to work. I got this. But when they take away your financial power, you're in a situation where, boy, you can't leave now, because if you leave, how the children will eat. They might threaten to take the children, because how you going to take the children and you can't provide for them. So no, you're stuck in immediately run with the children. You have to sometimes take yourself out of the situation. And I guess she did at the time what was best for her so that she could later on do what was best for everyone. Unfortunately, the children became what you call those things that, the persons who are in the crosshairs of the situation, or they become the unintended target, And if in that situation he had never been abusive before towards the children, she might herself have said, he may hit me, but he would never hit the children. And, if she had never hit the children before, she might not have seen that as a concern.
Thank you. I know I said I'm going to wrap it up, but there is a child here that wants to ask you a question, and I'm going to give her the space for it. So ask your question. If a child gets abused, what do you do and what do you tell them?
Good question, and I guess where to start. So, 311. Okay, so there are different types of abuse to start with. So, is the child being physically abused, sexually abused? Is the child being told unkind things? Because a lot of times we don't see that as abuse, but if you're somebody who's continually bringing you down and saying mean things to you, especially if this is a person that is your parent, somebody who is supposed to be caring for you, what a child should do is if they're a teacher, if it is parent as the person that's abusing you or a family member, you have to find somebody older who might be a safe person that you can talk to. So a lot of times children find safe persons at school. It might be your guidance counselor, it might be your teacher. Talk to one of those trusted adults in your life, tell them what's happening, and then they would have the responsibility of getting you to safety. Because remember, maybe if you have access to a phone, you might can call the police, but they would know the persons to call. So that there is the Office of Children's Registry. I think they're merged with CBA, there's CPFSA, there's SISOCA, there's Safe Spots, and I think Stewy has some resources that he's supposed to be sharing on screen. Chill spots, safe spots. I think there's children. I don't think that one is there, but that's a good one to add as well. So we'll provide Stewie with some additional resources that he can share with you guys. But there are a number of places that you can call that you can report the matter to. Physical abuse in terms of beating. All right. So is it a case where the parent is beating you to the point that it leaves bruises, wails? Describe for me, please. Abuse that the child is experiencing, or you're just asking generally? Okay, so generally speaking, if it's physical abuse, it would be the police, it would be FSA as well. These organizations have trained persons, social workers who will investigate. Yes, as a child, the best option is to go straight to your guidance counselor. But if it's like a teenager, someone older who's better able, they can also come in.
They're on your mother again. Children are afraid of their parents these days. So even if they have a hardcore and tough attitude and stuff like that, losing mommy and daddy is very important to them. So what should a child do, or what does a child do in cases like this? Like, mommy I beat my daughter, this is my daughter. Me I beat her, me I abuse her. I know that she loves me dearly. She don't want to report me to lose me. So what she could do?
Right. So I think there might be a bit of misconception where, parents and children are torn apart. I think what the organizations try to do is parent training. They try to do parent training to teach you different ways to discipline your child. Because a lot of times I think the go-to is beating, spanking, because that's what we're used to. So it's not that they're trying to separate a family. They always try to see how best they can assist in improving the situation. If the situation is a case, like a dire case where there's no improvement and the child is in immediate danger, then they try to place them with other family members. So it's not a tear away and pull them away from their family unit.
Okay, thank you. One more question in the back, then that's it.
Good night. Alright, so how do you assist someone who is in an abusive relationship, but they probably don't see it as abusive, but you feel the urge to assist? And how do you convince the person that this is not normal? Him hitting you is not normal, him abusing you is not normal. How do you assist them? And how do you open their eyes to see that this is not the norm? And how to protect yourself, because sometimes when you try to help someone who is in a relationship, and then when head coach Prilla, she said, that Stewy said I must leave you because that I must leave you, and the person has a hatred for Stewy now, even though they were good before. So how do you protect yourself? How do you assist them in a situation like that?
And that's one of the reasons why, as counselors or as psychologists, we really don't tell people what to do. What we do is provide options. So we look at what the situation is, we look at other situations, what a normal relationship looks like, and then also that is another reason why we also probe the background as to why you would think that this is normal, right? So because if I don't see anything wrong with something, I'm not going to fix it because I don't think it's broken. So there's really nothing to fix. So it's to help the person to become aware of what a normal relationship first looks like, right? And then what you can do is look at other options to see, look at the pros and the cons, the benefits of the different options that you provide. And then that person can also process to see, okay, which is best for me. So you provide options, you look at pros and cons. But how do you protect yourself? Because remember, you go to them and you say, him hitting you is not normal. And then she's gonna go to you and she's gonna say, so she really said that? Yeah, but you're not going to tell the person that this is not normal. As I said, you can't tell the person what to do because we can't, right? Because what you can do is put yourself in trouble. In America, we can get sued, right? Yes, so we don't tell them. So you provide options. You look at different situations and help the person to come to a realization that this is not normal without you saying to the person, this is not normal.
In the case of a friend, what I would recommend is just letting them know that you're there to support them. So probably not have. No, not in that way. So what you would say to her, you're creating this security for her to say, Pat or whatever your name is, if at any time that you feel that you need somebody to come to somebody, so you're opening and creating a space for her. So when she, yes, so you cannot put your ideals in her mind. If she, as Camille said, doesn't see anything wrong with the situation, you have to just give her time. But when she does come to that realization, you would have already planted the seed that, boy, I am here for you. Should anything go wrong, should you need a place to rest your head for a couple days or a night or two to figure something out, I am here for you. She might remember that when she feels overwhelmed by the situation or starts to realize that something isn't right for herself.
Thank you very much, ladies, and thank you, audience, for being so attentive and interactive. Before you go, though, I'd like you to share any information so that persons can contact you if they do want to seek counsel.
So we have business cards that we can share with you if you need to reach any of us. So we just need everything is there still. Right. So we have this to share with you just in case you need to reach any of us, right? For any other information.
Okay.
So we can just call on us. Or we can book a session. No, if it's okay. So we have like a 10-minute slot. So if you have any questions, we can fill you in that 10 minutes to answer any questions. However, if it goes beyond that, then you may have to book a session. But we do have information that we can provide in that 10 minutes slot.
In terms of like an Instagram handle, I respond to messages that I receive and direct persons to appropriate resources, of course. I also use it to promote events. For example, if there are workshops for persons with autism, I use the medium to promote that as well. If there are any parenting sessions, anything that I see that could be useful, I do try to share that information through my page. And if persons do contact me, I try to suit them with the most appropriate means. So if you contact me for couples, I would refer you to Tea Tree House Therapy. They have great couples therapists there. If you contact me for an individual counseling session that I personally don't deal with, I try to best assist you or direct you to persons who can help.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Thank you. Wonderful ladies. Give them a round of applause. Thank you so very much. Right? They deserve a little. Audience, I want to also thank you very much for coming out. Thanks to our guests, our sponsors, Pinatas Lounge, Girls First International, and Art with Impact. For more info, you can go on Instagram and find B.O.M TV and Radio.
So, all right. So once again, guys, thank you so much for coming out, supporting Films That Move once again. Hopefully the information was great, the films were great, and you leave here knowing a little bit more to go help yourself or someone else. So that's the aim that we do with this platform, and hopefully that's what we delivered tonight. So our next screening will be December 3rd, first Sunday. We'll be centering the topics and films around AIDS and suicide.
Oh, wow. So that's B.O.M TV and Radio on Instagram.
On Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everything. One name.
B.O.M TV and Radio. Thank you. Also, please. Once again, please do take advantage of this gathering to socialize and connect with other people of interest. There are filmmakers here, directors, actors, mental wellness practitioners. Once again, I'm your host, Akela Sims, and thank you so very much for supporting films in Jamaica. Support your local films, everybody.
Please.
Thank
when
you.
reach Carib, let's stop talking.
You're right. And do enjoy the rest of your evening and be safe on your journey home. Thank you very much once again. Yeah.
Don't go nowhere, Shalimar. On camera. As soon as I clear out from there.
Baby, you're more than just a friend. If I say life, be your one and only. Promise you will never leave me lonely. I'm just gonna be.